Hi, guys. I am back today with an amazing guest. Cannot wait to interview Heather. She is here to tell us about her systems for real estate investors. And Heather, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Definitely. I'm so happy. So I was checking out your website and it's awesome. I love how you said here, I am the Swiss Army knife in your toolbox. That is so cool. What a great way to describe what you do. So before we get into all the details, can you just give us a little bit of background, like how you found the Pace Morby community and what your role is right now? And yeah, just before current.
Sure. So I guess I stepped into the real estate space as a realtor. So I became a realtor in summer of 2022, and then I ended up joining the Women's Real Estate Investment Network. That was in the fall of 2022, and I found them before I found Pace, and it was a good first step. I definitely didn't learn as much there as I do with Pace, but it got me into the world, and then I started following Pace not too long after, and I followed him for about 6 months before I decided to take the leap and join Sub 2, and I have no regrets.
Ooh, that's awesome. All right. And then before you found Pace, were you doing like a real estate agent or were you starting off with investments right away?
I was a real estate agent.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. And are you still doing real estate agent work as well?
No, I'm licensed, but it's pretty inactive. I am still holding on to it because I'm thinking about, and I haven't confirmed this yet, but thinking about starting a brokerage next year.
Oh
I
my
work with
God.
a lot of wholesalers, so we get a lot of retail leads, and I'm thinking about converting that into a brokerage because I know a few agents who would come on, especially if there's lead flow that's supplied, because that's the hardest part about being an agent is, getting
Yeah.
those leads to convert into sellers or buyers.
I love it. So you found the wholesalers through the Pace Morby group?
Yes. Yeah, I've done a lot of networking, so I know quite a few
That is so cool, Heather. I love it. Well, what an amazing goal that is. I can't wait. And I can totally see you having a brokerage. That's awesome. Okay, so sub two, you did that. And then are you also a gator as well?
I'm not, but funny enough,
Okay.
I am getting into the lending space. I'm just not a gator.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it seems like everyone I know is a gator. I can't think of a single person that I know within my network that isn't a gator.
Yeah. Well, no, that's cool though, being in sub two to know a lot of gators that go hand in hand. So that's perfect. And then you're also a certified top tier TC.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, so you caught us up to speed. Tell us what you are doing to differentiate yourself from all the rest of, you know, the TCs out there that a person could choose.
Well, I wouldn't really lump myself in with TCs because I'm no longer doing actual TC work. I stopped that back in about
Okay.
April, so I'm only doing operator work right now, and that's more of it's on the business level. So I will manage TCs. Like right now, we have one TC for the operator client that I'm working with, but I'm more helping with systems and processes and SOPs and company planning and all the fun stuff. I find it fun.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that does sound fun. So can you explain for the average viewer, like, um, kind of break it down a little bit, the difference between an operator and a TC?
Sure. So a TC is very much transaction based. A TC communicates with the title company or closing attorney, and they help the transaction move along. What I'm helping is more on the company side, so it's the whole company. So it's not only the transactions, it's the marketing, it's the operations, it's working with all of the vendors and managing the subscriptions, figuring out what platforms we need to use, all that stuff.
Okay, gotcha. The foundational and behind the scenes that make it all come together.
Yes.
So, okay, that's great. So, how did you, if you don't mind expounding for like a new TC out there, how did you kind of learn how to do all this?
So that was actually my W-2 before. I was a web developer who worked for a digital marketing company that helped with automating business processes. So I did that for about 10 years, anything from API integrations to marketing campaigns. and everything in between. Like the marketing campaigns are more on the creative side, whereas API integrations are more on the techie side. But I was able to really get in and learn the flow and how to strategize to help with those processes. So I would say I have some experience around that. And then I also have an MBA, so I know the business side as well.
That's amazing. Okay, well now it's making sense. Your tagline about being a Swiss Army knife. You have a little bit of everything that you need all in one girl.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, so can you talk about the post that you made the other day, which is where I first found you?
Yeah, so we're doing the operator semester within top tier TC. So I've talked to several TCs about specifically about operator responsibilities, and a lot of times the integrator side of it scares them because they don't have those technical skills. And it really depends on, your experience and how technically savvy you are. But some people just aren't. And so we got to thinking about it. I was like, well, this is some experience that I have. Why don't I just offer it to the community and fill that gap that could happen, especially as as the operator semester is concluding and we're going out, we're finding clients. That shouldn't be a scary part. Like that, it should be something that can be embraced and you just, partner with somebody or bring on help.
I love that. Okay, so is that how you're thinking that you would offer your services to like partner up and maybe like split commissions, or do you offer your services to teach people like on a per fee basis? Just curious in case I ever wanted to use you.
I think it would really depend on the client.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
there's several different compensation structures that you can do as an operator. I think the few that I've talked to actually charge like a retainer basis,
Oh,
which is fine. But like I guess I would come on as like a percentage of that or like as needed. Like
yeah.
it just depends on how technically heavy the responsibilities would be for the operator.
Got it. No, that makes perfect sense. And then to break it down for people that may not fully understand what you're talking about, like integrating. I'm looking at your website right now, and she says that with her degree in computer science and a master in business, she can help automations and process building, API integrations, digital marketing, and CRM setup, and probably a lot more than that. So that sounds like a really needed service, actually across the board. All of us are business owners, and all of us need those things.
Yeah, it doesn't only have to be TCs. So that's what I provide as an operator service is basically any business. So right now I have a partner that's doing business acquisitions and he's wanting to acquire like service-based businesses, construction companies, roofing companies, and then like staffing companies and like some little off the wall things that he's just really interested in.
Yeah.
But I would come in and I would basically plan out all of the ways in the company that it could work smoother and it could save people hours. So my goal is to help a company scale without increasing their team.
Love that. That's amazing. Is this a person perhaps Darren?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. There's probably lots of people out there in this community that I haven't talked to yet that are looking at acquiring businesses though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is Casey Bluford. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
big in the business
Okay.
community.
Casey, I don't think I've talked to Casey yet, so I'll have to meet him as well. No,
Yeah.
that's so cool. So, do you also help with like search engine optimization and getting Google business profiles and all that stuff?
Not necessarily. It's so for those, think of it more as like I can come in and I can help plan everything and I can help manage things, but I'm not necessarily the expert to do every single little thing.
Got it. Okay.
Like for my operator client right now, we actually just hired Bateman Collective to come in and do Google Ads, and we've got a current rebuild happening for SEO. So they're really good at SEO. So I would rather leave that to the experts rather than trying to stay an expert at one particular field myself.
Got it. Okay, great. And then you threw out Bateman, what was it?
Bateman Collective. So they're doing our Google and our Facebook ads.
Okay, gotcha. And is that has nothing to do with our friend Jason Bateman, right? Or does he have a
No,
company named that?
I think it's completely separate.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, cool. No, that makes sense. So you're the planner, at 30,000 foot view, and then you help put in place all the pieces Okay, cool. That makes sense. And then you also have people that work with you that can do transaction coordinating, but you're not personally doing it. They're just like working on your team, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And you also can help people underwrite deals.
Yes, that's actually an outdated website. I need to
No, okay,
update
I'll
that.
let you talk and I'll stop looking at your stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think you're looking at heathergrizzard.com, which I
Yeah.
actually need to update, but
Okay.
mostly push reiintegrator.com.
I didn't go to that one. Okay, gotcha. reiintegrator.com. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I see it now. Yes, yes, yes. That's an awesome website. Okay. So what else would you like people to know about your services that you offer, and how can people get involved in any way and learn from you?
Sure. So on the client side, what I'm looking for is businesses that are looking to scale, but preferably a business that's making over 50,000 a month. That I could come in and basically help do cleanup and help do just prepare for a bigger team, prepare for more leads, prepare for more files, whatever it is that the company is doing. I can come in and do that, whatever it looks like. So it doesn't even matter what industry the company is in. I could come in because most companies are the same. You know, you have your marketing, you have your sales, and you have your fulfillment. So just working from that angle, it's all about processes. And
Yeah.
especially for those companies, I'm looking at the beginning of scaling, but I hopefully want to help them scale to the point that they can step out of the business themselves and potentially exit if that's in their plans. So
Nice.
that's on the client side for future operators. If you want to work with me and looking to build out an operator team, I can only service so many clients myself. So I
Right.
have a ton of expertise in this field, and I'm happy to help get new operators started, help them plan out what they need to do with their client, potentially hold their hand along the way if they don't feel comfortable. You know, at like new TCs, and we've seen this over the past year that top tier TC has been around. They like to get on a team.
Mhm.
Well, for operators, it's the same thing. I mean, you can get on a team. It can be that you might not feel as comfortable on one side of this
Mhm.
as you do another. Maybe your specialty is more on the marketing side, or maybe you just want to do portfolio management and we need to find the client for you. Then haven't really pushed out REI Integrator that much because I'm afraid of being overwhelmed. I have a couple clients already, but if you want to join my team, then hit me up. There's a place on REI Integrator that you can schedule a call to join the team.
Okay, great. And then when you say join the team, are you referring to each person remaining like their own business 1099 partnering with you, collaborating that way? Or are you talking about like actually joining as an employee of yours?
Not as an employee. It would probably be more of just a collaboration to help them learn the business and get started. And it also depends on the client. Some clients are more demanding than others. So if it's a smaller client, then I mean, it might just be that they need a quick consult to kind of get a plan together.
Yeah.
Or if it's a bigger client, I mean, it might need to be so much work that it needs to be tag teamed because it's just an overwhelming amount.
Got it. Okay. And then, like you said, it's a team environment either way. There's people that can help with, because everybody's this expert in something. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. Well, that is such a great opportunity. Can you also expound a little bit on what the operation of semester is?
Sure. So sub to top tier TC and Gator, they all have semesters, and that's something that Pace is doing to give value back to the communities. For top tier TC, they had the first semester was part-time TC, and this semester they have it kind of like school semesters. So there's so many going on at one time. This is the summer semester. And top tier TC is doing the operator semester, which to hear Molly and Ashley say it, that's their favorite one, which I would agree. It's got so many interesting parts, and they've brought on some amazing guests. They've brought on a Peace. They've brought on Jerry Norton. I'm still catching up on the modules. There's still 1 week to go, so I've got a little bit of catch up to go through. But they've got some really interesting conversations with people within the different parts of being an operator. So whether that's wholesaling, lending, portfolio management, and then also the systems and processes that they use, like specifically within Monday and different
Yeah.
things that they have. So it's been a really cool semester.
Okay. Thank you for that. And so, for somebody that might be watching this that is interested in becoming a TC or becoming an operator, is the path that they need to get TC certified first and then they can become an operator after that?
It depends on how TC heavy the operator role is. So some roles that it's a very loose role. The operator may involve like being involved in files and paperwork. If that's the case, I would definitely recommend becoming top tier TC certified. If it's more on the integrator side, where they're just managing systems and processes, but they don't touch any files or contracts, then I would say they don't.
Gotcha. Okay. And so then how would, if they're not involved in the Pace Morby community, can they still do this or they need to sign up for one of the communities before they can do it, right?
No, they can still do it. It depends. So I tell lots of people that I talk to, like, what you bring to the table within real estate is what you brought to the table in your W-2. So people across the board, they have so many different skill sets, and sometimes they don't even think to bring that into real estate investing. So we can help out these clients in a ton of different ways. Like I was talking to someone last week about what she's been doing, and she had ran a consult business, and she's just completely switched it over to operations because she realized that that was a lot of the tasks that she was doing in her day to day. And she's worked for Fortune 500 companies before within mostly talent management. So her specialty is more in like managing a team and figuring out like the corporate structure, like the team structure within a business and who to promote, who to hire, and all of that stuff. So that's also a specialty too. So if you, for instance, have a W-2 where you manage a lot of people, I mean, that's definitely a skill set within operations.
I love it. Well, thank you for painting that picture for people. It sounds like there's just an incredible amount of opportunities in the real estate and business acquisition world, and it seems like you're definitely a expert. So she's a great resource, everybody. Reach out to Heather. So go ahead. You started to say something.
Oh, I was gonna say it's definitely a learning process every day.
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest takeaways with working with this client is working with VAs and managing a VA team because his entire business was running on VAs whenever I first worked with him. I was his first US based person.
Wow.
So now we're bringing in more US based people, and it's a different company culture around that versus VAs. And so just completely like learning the difference because a lot of wholesalers they will go the 100% VA route, which it's just interesting. It's an interesting question that business owners have to ask themselves. And so that's something that I've learned just in the past few months, just from this one client.
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting perspective. And it makes sense that they would probably go with that route first. Just I'm assuming due to affordability, that's what they're thinking. But probably really helpful to have somebody US based as well that understands our rules and regulations and state laws and different things, right?
Mm-hmm. For
Yeah.
sure.
I love it. Well, that's a great, yeah, like you say, just adding one more thing to your tool belt. Take us back to when you were like new. You just barely got certified. How did you start making your connections and getting these clients?
Local meetups, 100%. So I'm based out of Atlanta, and we have a meetup almost every week.
Nice.
I I started back. It was May of last year, and I just immediately started going to meetups. I got to know the local leaders in Atlanta. I got to meet a lot of newer investors, and a lot of them. It takes a while to build up those connections and then have the calls start coming in. Like, hey, I've got a file because you have to wait for them to get their first file. But like today, I just got a call from an investor that I had made a connection with whenever I was a TC, which has been many months now since I've even been in that capacity. But I still get calls and texts from people who I've made the connection with as a TC, and I just refer them to somebody within the top tier TC community. But it's all from local meetups because people real estate is such a relationship business.
Mhm.
I found that people want to work with somebody that they've met in person more than somebody that they find on Facebook.
Okay.
So
No, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
if you
Yeah.
have access to local meetups, then that's definitely the place to start where you can find your first deal.
Okay. And so you weren't limiting yourself just to like Pace Morby groups or communities or meetups. You're talking about just real estate in general meetups.
That was actually all of Pace's meetups too. We're just a very active community within Sub 2 in Atlanta.
Cool. That's awesome. And any advice you have for somebody that might live more in a rural community that's not like in Atlanta or Dallas, big cities?
Check to see if there's a local RIA because that's the same thing. They might not be doing as many creative deals, which I think is where the top tier TC community excels at. Because cash deals it's easier to do, and you're more looking for people trying to scale so that they can step out of that TC role. But there still might be those people, and then just network with new people joining Sub 2. There's always new Sub 2 people, new real estate investors who haven't gotten their first deal yet, and the people that they meet at the very beginning, that's who they're going to be calling whenever they get their first file.
Makes sense. Okay. No, excellent advice. Well, I feel like you gave us a pretty good summary of what you're looking for in an ideal client and also what you're looking for as far as bringing in partnerships. Can you think of anything that I didn't maybe touch on that you would like people to know?
I don't think so. I think we covered most of it. If
Yeah.
you would like to find out more about what I offer, you can go to reiintegrator.com. And if you know anybody who maybe you don't provide operator services, but you know somebody who needs it, then I'm always here, a call away,
I
at
love
least
it.
to give some clarity to a business.
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw on your other website that you're like, hey, just book a consult. We can talk. I love that. That sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Heather. This has been incredible. I know I'm definitely interested in learning more behind the scenes, so I'll be contacting you as well. And you are offering an incredible service, and it's going to provide a lot of value to a lot of people. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for making that post on Facebook the other day.
Yeah, hopefully I can help some new operators get their feet in the water and jump right in.
Sounds perfect. That's what we need. So, all right. Well, thank you for your time, and maybe we'll circle back and do another one in 6 months or a year from now.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you as well. Bye bye.
Bye.